Hello guys, welcome to Online Web Tutor presented by Prophetic Solutions team. I am Sanjay. We are learning WordPress Plugin Development tutorial from scratch, and this is the part of 37 in which we will see about how can we save our student data as well as the listing of student data. And also guys, if you are beginner to this channel, then please don't forget to subscribe and keep watching our WordPress Plugin Development tutorial. So in the last video session guys, we have created and saved the author's detail. Okay, we have created from our author from add new author form, as well as we have saved all the details and listed into manage author section. Okay, so in this video session we will create the add new student. Okay, and after creating each new student we will list all student within manage student. Okay, and also we will create a new user while creating any new student. Okay, so let's get started about creating student records. So this is the editor which actually we are using, and this is our plugin code. Okay, so we have decided guys that actually for this file actually code is too large. Okay, so just I am going to cut all the things that we actually managing to our server request, and these all actually response that actually we want from our JavaScript file. Okay, so let's cut all these things and just make a new file within this library folder. Okay, and let's say that this is my book library. Okay, .php, and just paste it all the code that actually we have cut from that. Okay, just paste it here. So now the next thing that these all the codes are separated within a separate file. Just we need to give the link of this file within this function name. Okay, so just I am going to copy a link actually we have given already. Okay, so this is the link, just copy the one line. Okay, just I have copied, and now within that function we need to give the link of that file. Okay, so just paste it here. So within library folder, let's say that my book library, just my book library.php file. Okay, so now if you go to its front end section, let me check that. Just Control F5 to refresh. Let's create a new authors. Let's say called online web tutor. Okay, something facebook.com/OWT hub. Okay, let's say HTTPS, and now this is channel provides skills. Okay, just I am submitting this form, and now it is working. Okay, so if you go to the list of manage author, and here is the detail of online web tutor. Okay, so successfully it is working. We have separated all the codes in a separate file, and now we have actually reduced the size of this file. Okay, so also if you want to reduce the size, then you also just get rid of all these contents of database script actually we have added into this file into a separate file. Okay, after reducing the size of this plugins file, actually the codes should be easy to manage. Okay, so just get started about saving the students record. So just I am closing all these tabs. Let me close all the tabs first. Okay, just save this file and close all the tabs. Let me open in the view section called student add. Okay, and this is the student page actually we are going to add the students. Okay, so just I am copying this ID frm add a student. Open your script file, go to assets js, and this is script.js. okay, within this file let's add, just make copy of these all codes where actually we are adding the author. Okay, this is the code actually we did in the last video session. Okay, just I am copying all this code and pasting it here for the student. Okay, so just the ID of the student, just copy it from here and replace with the frm add author ID. And now okay, now the validate function actually contains the submit handler event. Okay, by the help of this event, guys, actually we are going to submit our request to the server, right? And this is my book library, which actually hooked up with the WP Ajax action hook. Okay, and let's say that is save student. Okay, and now we have to submit the details of FRM add student into the serialized format to our server. Okay, so just replace with that. Now go to your library file where actually we have separated the code. Okay, and now this is the function, guys. All these files, actually, if you have remembered, that actually we have separated all the codes by our WP Ajax action hook. Okay, so this is the action hook in my book library actually we have used within this JavaScript file. Okay, so by the help of this action hook we have attached this function, and this function contains all the definition section of our request. Okay, so just close this file, and now let's make a block for saving a student. Okay, so just make your copy of this block. Just I'm copying this save author section and let me paste it here. Okay, so let's change that. Instead of save author, let's save student. Okay, and now instead of this authors table, just I am changing it to my students table. Okay, so if I look over into our created file, actually the functioning for our student, so just I'm clicking on that, and let me check that actually the table name, okay, my students table, it's all right. So now let's go to database table first. So just open WP my students. Okay, it basically takes the value of name, email, and user login ID. Okay, so basically the user login ID contains the ID of the created user. Okay, so when we open WP users table into the next tab, then after creating any student, some of the details actually saves into this table WP my student, as well as the username and the password section. Okay, username and the password sections actually saves into WP users table. Okay, so after inserting any row into this table, actually we will get a ID of that student. Okay, that ID should be inserted into user login ID section. Okay, so basically the relationship between WP my students and WP users is that WP my students contains the name and the email section, and the user login ID contains the ID of the created user. Okay, which basically takes the username, password, and the email section from our created form of add new student. Okay, so these are the details called username, password, and the confirm password should go into WP users table, as well as the name and the email section will be stored into WP my students table. Okay, so just I am going to save name and email section right now. Okay, so name equal to name and email should be email. Okay, so if you open our student add page, then if we are checking its name section, then name equal to name and email should be name. Okay, else the other data should be username and the password. Okay, so just to go to its file, let me change that, and we need to store user login ID. Okay, so let me say user login ID, and basically it contains a student ID actually we will create to form WP users table. Okay, so we need to create a separate user for a save student within this block. Okay, so to create a user in WordPress, guys, actually we will use WP create user function. Okay, WP create user function, and we want to create a student as its login and details. Okay, so just it takes the username, password, and email section as it's optional. Okay, so we need to pass each and every section of blog step by step. Okay, so just I'm copying it the username, and the name should be username. Okay, so just copy this username, go to WP create user function, and let me say that it is request username. Okay, so just I have passed username, so let's pass the password section also. Just copy this and paste it here. Okay, so if we will check the name section of password, then it should be the password. Okay, so just copy the name section and paste it here. Okay, so the next thing that we need to do, we need to pass the email section for WP create user. Okay, so just go to its email section and the name is email, so just replace the password with the email. Okay, so successfully we have passed all the details, required details to WP create user. Okay, and it basically takes the username, password and the email section. This function after creating user returns the student ID. Okay, so this function actually creates the user to our WP users table. Okay, and after creating users it will return the student ID, and that is the student ID actually we need to store into user login ID. Okay, so let's say that a student created successfully. Okay, so if you go to its front end section, just Ctrl F5 to refresh, and let's say Sanjay, email should be abc@gmail.com. Let's say abc Sanjay. Okay, username should be Sanjay1001 OWT, password should be Sanjay, and confirm password should be Sanjay. Okay, so just I'm clicking on the submit button. While clicking on that, student created successfully as message appeared in front of us. Okay, so just I'm going to first WP my students table. Just click on refresh, and now here is the detail. Sanjay, this is the email ID and user login ID equal to 13. Okay, what is 13? If you go to its WP users table, just refresh this page, and now here is the detail of 13, means Sanjay has been created with the username and username as email. Okay, so successfully we have also created a new user into our WP users table, and this is the ID 13 which actually we have passed into WP my students table. Okay, so if you go to its user section, just clicking on this tab user section, then this is the user actually we have created. Okay, so WordPress by default gives each new created user a role called subscriber. Okay, so if you want to change the actually the role of this subscriber, definitely we want to change. So according to our need, to our plugin, we want to create a separate user with a new user role. Okay, so how can we register a new user role for this student? We want that when any user created from this plugin, the user roles should be different. Okay, so how can we define a separate user role for our plugin? Okay, so just go to plugins main file, just I'm opening WP my books. Okay, and in this file, when actually we have registered our table, and there is the function, actually it is called while plugin activation. Okay, within this function, let's say our user role registration. Okay, here we are going to register our user role registration. Okay, to register our user role, guys, a function called add role. Okay, add role actually function is used to register our custom user role in WP setup. Okay, so first of all it should take the key. Okay, so let's say that this is book user key. Okay, it should take a unique key, you can say, for this role. And now the second is take, it's the user front end message. Okay, so if you click on any of the user, just scroll down. Okay, let's take another user instead of admin, let's say Sanjay. Just scroll down, and this is the user role. Okay, this is the user role. So these are the messages actually appearing. Okay, so we want a custom text for that. So in the second parameter we need to pass the second text. Okay, so let's say that book user. Okay, so let's add my book user. Okay, and then now the third parameter we need to pass the capability of this user. Okay, so we want that this user have actually the reading power. Okay, reading capability, so just it's set to true. Okay, so we have successfully added add role function in which we have passed a key, my book user, and the read. Okay, so successfully we need to uninstall this plugin. While installing of that, we actually get the users role. Okay, so successfully go to plugin section. Let's say that just deactivate this plugin. While deactivating, we actually get lost of all the tables actually we have created with that plugin. Okay, so no more existence of those tables which we have created. Okay, so just close this tab and let's activate the plugin first. Okay, so just I'm clicking on activate button, and now the successfully plugin has activated with these menus. Okay, so just I'm going to its user section. Okay, I'm clicking on that, and let's check the subscriber section. Okay, and you could see that my book user is the new registered user role. Okay, so this is the user role, guys. Actually we have registered with our custom code. Here is my book user. Okay, so we need to assign this created user role to our created student, okay, which we have created from this code. We need to assign a WP, the role we have created, to our created user. Okay, so how could we assign actually the user role? To assign that, we need to create an instance of WP users. Okay, so let's say WP user, and we need to pass the student ID function, student ID within this function. Okay, and it returns the WP user instance. Okay, it returns the user instance of WordPress setup. Okay, and basically this instance contains a method called set role. Okay, so just paste it here and let's say set role. Within the set role function, guys, method, we need to pass our registered role. Okay, so we have actually registered the WP book user key. So just copy this unique key, go to your library file and paste within this function. Okay, so successfully, guys, when we save this file and go to its front end section, let me create a new user. Okay, add new student. Let's say that Gopal Prasad. Okay, and email should be gopal@gmail.com. Username should be Gopal, password is Gopal, and the confirm password should be Gopal. Okay, so when we create on submit button, just click on that. It's not working, just inspect this submit button. And now if we will check, then go to console tab, and here's something error, guys. Okay, it returns 500 internal error. So this error actually comes from this library file, and the error should be something called student ID WP create user. Okay, successfully we have created the instance of that. Okay, guys, actually we are going to create the instance of WP user. Okay, so we need to pass the new operator. Okay, this is a silly mistake that we did. So just save this file and refresh this page. Once we refresh, let's say that is Gopal Prasad. Email should be gopal@gmail.com. Username should be Gopal. Password is Gopal, and let's say Gopal. Okay. So just I'm clicking on submit button, and now a student created successfully. If you go to the list of manage student, then we can see, okay, student actually not created. Right now it is blank because I think so far we haven't coded to show the students into this list. Okay, so just go to its database and let me check here. Okay, so we have successfully, guys, inserted WP students table. Okay, so the ID actually 0. Let me check that actually user has been created or not. Okay, so let me check the details of Gopal, and successfully the Gopal actually registered into WP users table. Okay, so if you go to its WP user section, then we can see the details of Gopal. Okay, so just click on that, and now if we check, then actually the role is not assigned to him. Okay, so actually we need to check that what actually we are going to give the wrong suggestions to that. Okay, user login ID is equal to 0. Okay, so just go to code and let me change it called student ID. Declare another variable called user ID. Okay, and copy this user ID and just paste it here. Okay, paste it here. So after saving this user ID, guys, actually student ID created and we have assigned to WP user. Okay, and here is the role actually we have assigned. Okay, so I think, guys, it's work because we have declared another variable and we have assigned this user variable to this insertion. Okay, so just go to its front end section and let me create a new user. Okay, called Rahul Kumar. Rahul Mehta, rahul@yahoo.com. Okay, so let's say Rahul1001, Rahul username RahulOWT, password is Rahul, and let's say Rahul. Okay, so just clicking on submit button. Student created successfully. So if you go to the user section, let me refresh this page, and here is the detail of Rahul. Okay, and successfully we have assigned this user as our custom user, as you can see, my book user. Okay, so if you go to its database section, just let me refresh that, and now here is the details of user, and with login ID 17. Okay, and this is the login ID, guys. Actually we have registered this user to this table. Okay, so next thing that we need to do, that all the details of this user, actually we want to show into our front end section called manage student. Okay, so just to go to its coding background, let me open the file called manage student. Okay, so in this file we want to show all the details of our created student. Okay, so just close this file, close this script file and student add file. Okay, and one more thing, guys, I want to discuss with our library file is that while creating any user, okay, you need to focus that no user has, actually the username should be repeated, should not repeat. Okay, and also email should be unique. Okay, unique. So these are the things, guys, that you need to focus while registering any student. Okay, so while using username should be unique. Okay, for unique username, guys, you need to use the function called username exists. Okay, and you need to pass the username as the requested username within this function. Okay, so this is the function. Okay, and for the unique emails you need to use called email exists. Okay, and it should take the email section. Just copy this thing, paste it here, and let me refresh username with the email section. Okay, so while registering any student from your code, you just need to use these functions also to prevent the user registration with the username existence as well as the duplicacy of email. Okay, so these are the things that you need to keep in your mind while making any new student. Okay, so just I'm closing this file. And now within this file, guys, we need to write the code of all the students actually we want to get from our created table to this list. Okay, so just I'm going to its code, and let me say that all students. Okay, all students, and let me say that wpdb get results. Okay, and let me say that wp db and the prepare method. Okay, so here we need to write the query select asterisk from, and the table name should be called my students table. Okay, so just I'm copying this function name, go to manage student and let me paste it here. Okay, and all the students actually we want order by id descending. Okay, and it's prepared for, we need to pass the second parameter as a blank. So when we copy this variable, paste it here with this printr function, and just save this file, go to page and refresh this page. So these are the students, guys, actually we have created with these details. Okay, so we need to iterate over this variable. Okay, so just I make comment of that, go to this section, and let me say within this tt block, let me say that if count of this variable greater than 0, then we need to make the use of for each. Within this for each, let's say all students as key value pair. Okay, key value pair, and now we need to give the called serial number, name, email, username. Okay, so serial numbers should be a variable called $i equal to 1. Okay, so the first thing that we need to pass the incremented of id. Okay, so it should be within tr. Within this tr, let's say td, and the first td should be our id. Okay, So let's say PHP with this PHP tag. So let's say $I plus plus. Okay, and now the next thing that we need to do is that name. Okay, so just I'm copying this variable and semicolon is missing from here, and let me paste it here. And let's say that value, we want the name of the student. Okay, so as you can see that this is the student object, actually it is returning. Okay, so to access the name section we need to write that value and the name section. Okay, and in the next parameter we need to access the email section. Okay, and email section, and here is the email. Okay, and also if we want to access the next information called username and the created ad. Okay, so to get the username or created ad we want the information from WP users table, because the username actually saving into this table WP users. Okay, so how can we get the data from WP users table from this? Okay, because we are currently requesting this table. Okay, so to get the users data from this table, a WordPress function called get user data. Okay, get user data, in that function we need to pass the user ID. So we have currently that user ID into our table called user login ID. So by the help of this ID actually we can access the information from this table. Okay, so just go to code. Okay, and now let me tell you that within this for each, let's say that user details, and we are going to use get user data. Okay, and with this get user data let me pass the user login ID. Just copy this variable, paste it here, and call user login ID. Okay, and now it will returns all the value associated with that user. So let me say td php, let me say echo user details called user login. Okay, and now the created date should be td, and the value actually comes from value section. Okay, from our WP users, created users. Okay, echo, and this is created ad. Okay, and this created ad actually inside into WP my students table, and here is that. Okay, successfully we have integrated all the details. Okay, and now finally we have to add an action button. Okay, so just a td section from here, and let's say that PHP will this is not a PHP, actually we want a delete button. Okay, so let's say button or delete, and let's say that class should be btn danger. Okay, so just save this file, go to your browser and refresh this page. So once we refresh you can see that all the details are coming now. Rahul Mehta is the name, email, and this is the username, and actually we have taken this username from this WP users table, Rahul OWT. Okay, so how can we access this users information from WP users table? This is why actually we have used get user data function. Okay, this is WordPress function which basically takes the ID of user, and this is the ID actually coming from this table, as you have remembered, user login ID. Okay, so this is the 17 number ID actually we have passed for the Rahul data, and user details section contains the data of this user. Okay, and all the details actually comes into the object format. That's why we have used arrow operator to get the user login data. Okay, so successfully if we create a new user again, let's say that add new student, let's say call Ravi underscore OWT, let's say Ravi1001 at gmail.com, Ravi1001, just copy this username and paste it here again for password. Okay, so just click on submit button. Successfully we have created a Ravi user. So just refresh this page, and here is the details of Ravi. As you can see, Ravi user email and the mybook user as the custom user role. Okay, so if you go to the list of manage student, and here is the details of Ravi. Okay, and one more thing guys, we want to discuss in this video session that actually when we uninstall our plugin, okay, so while uninstalling we want to delete this custom role actually we have registered with this plugin. Okay, so how can we delete the user role while uninstalling our plugin? So when we uninstall our plugin, then this actually function calls, okay, while deactivation. So let's add code for removing user role. Okay, so to remove user role you need to use remove action or remove role. Okay, in this role section you need to pass the role actually we have registered. Okay, and the role we have registered with this key, so just copy this key and paste within this remove role function. Okay, and before removing that you need to check that actually this role exists or not. Okay, to check that we need to use get role. Okay, get role, and within this role we need to pass the key. Okay, so just cut from here and paste within this block. Okay, and we need to copy this key and we need to pass within this get role function. Okay, so get role function actually basically checks that this role actually exists or not. If it exists, then it drops this role from our database table. Okay, so successfully guys we have discussed each and every section of creating a student. Okay, we have started creating a student and we have registered each created student as a separate user. Also we have discussed for our custom user role, and also we have listed all the details of a student to manage student list. Okay, so far guys we have discussed so many things. In upcoming videos we will discuss more on this plugin. So if you have any query in this video session guys, then please drop your comment. I will give my reply as soon as possible. So for this video session guys, thank you for watching. Have a great day.